Welcome to the setup instructions for the Leaf Illusion teleporter with rotation for Second Life. I'm going to walk to the top of the stairs and find the location where I want to teleport to. And as I'm doing that, I will point out that if you get messed up here, complete illustrated instructions for how to do this are on our website at leafillusion.com. So you can always refer back there for help. And so now I'm to the top of the stairs and looking around, and this looks like a pretty good location to teleport to. And so the next thing I'm going to do is look up at the navigation bar and find out where my avatar is standing. And right here is the coordinates for his location, which are 53, 210, and 67. So write those down on a piece of scratch paper so that we have them for reference in a minute, because we're going to need them. And with that done, we can head back downstairs. I've already got a teleporter installed up here, so I'm going to cheat and use it to go back downstairs. And here we are back downstairs. So the next step is to install our teleporter button. For that, we open the inventory. And from our inventory, we find teleporter button, and I'm going to use the one that's called arrows pointing up because this is going up the stairs, and we drag it out onto the floor where it will res. Once it's resed on the floor, we can close the inventory window to get it out of the way. And now right click on the teleporter button, select edit, and we'll move it into position and rotate it. So I'm going to start by rotating it 90 degrees so that it is flat with the wall, just like that. And then I'm going to come up and click move and move it into the location where I want it. And there it is, right up against the wall. With it in the location where I wanted it, now the next step is to come over here to the Content tab, click on it, and then you'll see the teleporter script down here. Double click on the teleporter script and it will open up, and now we can come down to line 4 in that script, and you'll see a set of 3 numbers separated by commas, just like the coordinates were. And that's where you enter your coordinates for where you want your avatar to be teleported to. Okay, we had looked it up and we discovered we wanted 53, 210, and 67. So we type those numbers in, and then we come down and we click this button next to running, so that there's a check mark next to running and a check mark next to mono. And then finally we click on save. Wait for it to say save complete. That's very important that you wait. And you're done editing this, so we can close the editing window for the script, and we can also close the editing window for the teleport button. And now we're ready to test our teleporter. So we'll click on the wall there just to make sure that we're focused, and now we push the escape button twice. That assures that our camera is in proper position aligned behind our avatar where it's supposed to be, and left click on the teleporter, and there you are, your first teleport completed. And if we look up here, we can see 52, 210, 67 showing us our location. So we teleported to the right location. And that is all there is to it. Okay, now that we've finished our first test of the teleporter, we'll notice that we're facing the stairway, which is not really the direction we'd like to be facing. What we'd really prefer to be facing, or at least I would, is into the middle of the room. But most teleporters will just leave you facing whatever direction they decide to leave you facing. That's the advantage of the teleporter with rotation, is that you can select which direction you want to face. And so now we we'll look at what direction we wound up facing, and we're going to calculate how many degrees to the right we would prefer to turn once we land. I'm going to spin around. 180 degrees would be looking the opposite direction. 180 degrees, that would be pretty good. I'm looking now towards basically the room, but as I think about it, I think I'd rather be facing maybe about 190, maybe something like this. Okay, with that information, we can now go down and set the landing rotation on the teleporter. So teleport back downstairs, and we'll go over to our teleporter where we have it installed on the wall, and right click on it, edit, content, double click on the teleporter script to open it up, and come down to line 6 where it says integer t equals 0, and where 0 is, we enter the rotation to the right that we want. So in this case we'll enter 190. That's the rotation we wanted. And come down, and once we've got that entered, we click on save. Wait for it to say save complete. Check to make sure that we're still running. Got a check box there. And now we close the editing window. Close the editing window for the button. And we're ready to test again. Push the escape button twice to align our camera again. Put our mouse over the teleporter button and left click. And this time we wind up facing into the room, the direction we want to face. And if you don't wind up exactly the direction, you can go back and edit that and fine-tune it to get the angle of rotation exactly where you want it. There are a few other settings that we can change on the teleporter with rotation. Let's go back downstairs and take a look at some of the other options we have. One of the first options is that we can change the appearance of this button. It comes with this little nifty graphic on it that kind of points to the direction and hopefully gives an indication of what's going on. But you can insert any graphic on there that you want. You can make your own graphic and upload it to Second Life and just import it and put it on there. And you do that just like you would put a graphic on any prim. You edit it, come over to the textures, and then you just select texture, and then you can select any texture you want out of your inventory. So you could make a sign that said click here to teleport to the women's department if you owned a store, for example. And of course you can also change the size of the teleporter button by simply stretching it as you would any other prim. Stretch it in and out to any size you want. And then lastly, you can come over to the content, and if you open the script again, there are some other things that you can edit in the script that you can change. For example, on line 8, you can change the text that appears up here above the teleporter. So instead of saying touch to teleport, you could change it to say teleport upstairs. Or if you wanted to, you could just completely delete the text there and put a space in, and then there will be no text at all above it. A couple other things you can change. On line 10, you can change what color that text is. On line 12, you can change how the teleporter responds when you click on it. And on line 14, you can change who can use the teleporter. And that is it for setting up the teleporter with rotation made by Leaf Illusion. Thank you very much, and appreciate your purchase of our teleporter.